It's Carrie Palmer, episode 29 of Spiritual Conversations with Carrie and Candace Sanderson. Hey, Candy, how you doing in Florida?
Hey, Carrie, I'm doing great. How are you?
It's still winter here and COVID in the Northwest, but we're surviving. It's all good. What I wanted to talk about today, I've talked about, my spiritual shift has been really huge for me. It's like becoming spiritual. It was something that when we talked about Eckhart Tolle, it's like I read about presence and I'm like, how can he be so present? And I'm to the place now to where I'm like, oh, I'm still, and I don't have a monkey mind. I'm very calm. But when I went to Leavenworth, so here I am in this beautiful place. It's a Bavarian village of the mountains here in Washington. It's very much a beautiful, special place. Always a lot of snow. So we get there and it's just beautiful. We get to this big cabin that we're renting and the snow's about 2 feet deep and then the snow starts
Wow.
falling. So I'm just like, I love that. It's like being in nature is everything for me. So I want to be outside. So just with the snow falling. But when I was in the cabin, it's like I realized I'm walking around thinking, what am I going to do with myself while I'm here? There's a TV. I don't watch TV. I used to sit and watch TV for hours. Like I don't want to waste any energy watching other things. I want to
Right.
be. So I'm like standing in the cabin. I'm looking around like, well, I can cook, but I pre-cooked all the meals. Kind of stupid.
Wow.
So I didn't have
Wow.
that to do, but I was just organized and it gave me stuff to do because it's COVID and I don't have things to do. I have to be creating. So I've been making a lot of food. So I pre-made the food. So I'm there. We have a few games we could be playing, but I'm just like, what do I do with myself? It's like wherever you go, there you are. Here I am in Leavenworth. And I'm realizing that I feel like I'm at my house because I can go outside and be in the snow. But when I'm in the cabin, I'm like, what do I do with myself? So I decided I was going to go for a walk. It was nighttime. The snow was really coming down. And so I have a glass of wine with me. I put it in a paper cup and I was just enjoying. It was just beautiful. And as I went out, I felt like you. I literally had an instant download that came to me
Right.
as a big chunk of information.
When you were talking about the snow, there was a lot of snow. The snow was falling. You went outside. It's dark. You have your glass of wine. And I was just right there with you, Carrie. And what really struck me is when I took a step out and closed the door behind, all of a sudden, I can remember being in snow and how the snow falling and the snow around ushers in this stillness. There's a hush that comes with snow, and it really puts you in the best position to be totally open. So I'm not surprised you got a download. So tell me about it. I'm excited.
So this big download came and it was actually phenomenal information because I have become very spiritual. I have become silent. I have become present. I've become still. I've become bliss. But what this download told me is that yes, you become all those things, but you don't realize how it's physically affected you. And I'm tearing up. That happens to you when you get downloads. Oh my
Oh,
God,
it does all the time.
holy crap.
Oh,
I don't
oh,
tear
oh,
up. Oh, but it was
oh,
so
but this
interesting
is
because I realized it's like physically, I can't be in a house and just be and be okay. If I'm not creating, if I'm not making big dishes of food, something to where I'm creating, it's like there's nothing. I feel so empty. I can't believe I'm emotional, Candy. But the craziest part about this is so it helped me understand what was going on with me. But the next couple of days, it started raining. And so the beautiful snow was slush. It was just like,
right.
just get me to the ocean. We on our way home, I was reading Florence Shin's book, which I was so glad I did. It really helped me just stay calm and be grounded. When I got home back to the house, because my daughter had been here previous, because she was on break with school, so she was around a lot. She kept me busy. We were playing games and doing stuff together. Now it's just me and John back in the house and the animals. When we walked in the door, I felt my blood pressure was soaring. I felt it through my body. So I went upstairs, which I never do. I have a blood pressure cuff. I haven't used it in years because I know I can feel it in my body.
Right.
I took my blood pressure. It was 187 over 90, and I knew that was not good. I was on an extra blood pressure medication I have polycystic kidney disease, which means I have blood pressure issues, but I had to have a secondary medication because of an infection I had a few years ago. I weaned myself off of this over a couple months because I knew I didn't need it. So I weaned myself off. I was so proud. But coming in that day, realizing that no, my body is saying, you have to get back on it for now, which I did. I started back up at that point. But it was like knowing that download came to me prior to coming home, that helped me immensely. But I still, it's, like all I know is being at the ocean, which is where I'm on my way. It's like I don't have to do anything. All I need to do is look at the ocean and be out there with it 24/7. That's all I need to do. But so that has been my experience over this. I know it was crazy. I had a download, but it was like just accepting that physically I have changed. I will never be the person I was, and I'm okay with that. So just get me to the ocean. So, what's your spin on all this, girl?
Well,
Crazy.
it's interesting because what we're doing next week, episode 30, what we're doing is we're talking about like management style, but management style, how it relates to who you are, where you are, and how you can listen to guidance. Okay. So you're starting off and you're telling me that you're in this beautiful space in the cabin. You go out into the woods, in the snow, and it's falling, and you are very open and receptive. Now, those kind of cues are always around us, but we don't always necessarily listen to them. But when you do, and then when you try to share that, see how teary eyed you got? That's what I do, Carrie. You know me. I'm
I
the one
know.
who's always going boo hoo, boo hoo. Why? Because when I start talking about the messages that I get, I'm back in that very same energy field.
Yeah.
And that energy field is so, well, it depends on who I'm communicating with, but it's usually so angelic and it's just so heartfelt and so beautiful that you can't help but just be right there again. Now, with you, you then transition to your old home, don't have the peace of the snow and being open. And it's like, wow, reality hits you right in the
Right.
face. It's, you're just confronted with it and your body responds. Your blood pressure goes up. So I think the key here is to realize that what your thoughts are will help determine where you are and who you are. So when you start noticing that your thoughts are changing because you're driving back home, you're getting back into the situation, you're no longer in that magical space of being on the mountain, then that's when, if we can, first of all, be aware of it, then take deep breaths and try to find that space, that magical space when you walked out in the darkness and you looked up and the snow is just falling down around you. Because if you can get back into that space, then your body is going to respond as well too. Now, that's much easier said than done. The reason we're here on Earth School 101, is to learn these lessons. And learning lessons the simple way doesn't teach us much.
hmm And it's been something once I was aware, once I came back here, it's like I do have to find that way to keep myself grounded, which I am definitely able to do. But one
Right.
thing you do know, I live in the Pacific Northwest, which, yeah, Leavenworth is a 2.5 hour drive, but where we live, the chance of snow is not very often. So we have a lot
Oh,
of darkness and a lot of rain. And so I am able to, like, I'm like, we're just going to get fat because I'm going to be cooking a lot. I mean, I made chocolate covered strawberries because I didn't want them to go bad and they got eaten. I mean, I love designing in the kitchen. I love to cook. I love to create. I have to be doing creation. I'm not able to write here. And that's the biggest thing. That's why like I need to have my escapes to go where I can feel the muse, feel the
right.
writing. And so that's the thing I'm missing. But so I know I'm able to get to that good place. But for other people here in the Pacific Northwest, there's already with COVID, there's already a lot of depression, a lot of darkness. And so it's trying to find that light within. It's really hard for a lot of people up here, really hard.
I can remember as a former psychologist years ago with the DSM-5, which is the diagnostic manual that we use to diagnose, they had a new category called SAD, seasonal affective disorder. growing up, we called it cabin fever when you'd be in the winter time and the sun wouldn't shine and you couldn't get out and you just felt so imprisoned
Stuck.
and you
Yeah.
just you were stuck, absolutely stuck. And now as psychologists, we realize that really is a disorder. Compound it with where you are, where there
Mm.
is much more rain and much more darkness, I mean, literally, than there was before, and then combine it with people staying at home because of COVID. There
Yep.
are a lot of challenges. There really are.
Yes. So what I do, I mean, in the rain, even I go out, I walk nearby. I have a big wooded 88 acres of woods, which is where I spend my time. I go walking in the woods every day. And before my daughter went back to school, her and I went there a couple of times. It was pretty special having her say when we were in there, now I see why you have to do this. Cause she was also going crazy. It's like just there's too much time. I mean, she can fill her space on her phone and watch a lot more than I can. But I just can't do that. So it's like finding a way to fill your space. And here in the Northwest, we do have some of the most beautiful wooded areas. I went to a big state park 2 days ago and there's nobody there. I hiked all over the place. There was not a soul in sight. Go to the mountains, people. We have so many beautiful areas. Go hike Mount Si, get outside, anybody in the Northwest, because that will help ground you and get you back and have things to look forward to outside. And we are Northwesterners. We're used to rain. It's like we don't have to stay in with the rain. You can't do that. You could dry your dog off. You can.
Right. Good. Good. So this is a good place to stop with the
Yep.
beautiful message. We might feel like we're stuck inside and looking at the circumstances. Yes, we're spending more time inside than what we used to, but there's a couple things you can do. Go outside. I'm in Florida. It gets so hot. It was 80 something yesterday, but in a few months it will get so hot. You know what? That's okay. Get up earlier. Go outside. Go out at night. Find a way to get back in touch with nature. If you can, take your shoes off. Listen to the sounds around you, whether it's the surf or whether it's a mountain lark. Just listen to it and be part of that. But you can also go inside, go within, take deep breaths. Even if you don't meditate, bring your attention to your heart space. Close your eyes, just feel the energy that's around you and be in a meditative state, even if you can't meditate. So, there are things that you can do, and it will make your life better.
Definitely. So
That's
thank you
great.
all for watching. We really appreciate you. Click on like, share, comment. We really appreciate you.
And subscribe. Bye.
Yeah, that too. Bye.